Hey everyone, Sawmill Charlie. Well, welcome to another Friday night beach hack. How you doing, Bill?
Hey, Charlie, how are you?
All right. Hey Shane and Mike and let's see, we got Randy and misbehaving Mike and
Gary's in
Gary,
there. Joe Rawls is in
Joey
there.
and Bill, Billy Lee and Keith.
Yeah. Dennis, Greg Dunn.
Go ahead and pin the link. There we go. I know Bracken's going to be coming in tonight. He already texted me. We had to get something to eat though. Of course, he's a few hours behind us.
Yes.
So, hey, Darren, I haven't seen you for a long time. Where you been at?
Darren? Hey, I watched your video, one of your videos the other day, and I subscribed to your channel, just so you know.
So, well, was it icy and bad weather yesterday for you?
It was a little bit in the morning, and then it warmed up to about 36 degrees pretty quick, and it all went away. It was gone by 9 o'clock.
Ours, I think about 10 o'clock or so. We didn't. Well, let's see. What was it? Thursday. Thursday day seemed like Docker Day here at the mill. Hey, Mike.
Hi, Nancy.
Anyway, I had a dentist appointment in the morning and was canceled till in the afternoon, which worked out fine. And my brother's, him and his wife had to go get a procedure done of some sort. And he's been kind of under the weather with a head cold. So,
yeah, it's catching up with everybody this time of year, isn't it?
Hi, Randy.
So far, so good with me. I don't know. I've been taking vitamin C for 6 months or more. Seems to be working. I mean, I know they've always said it did, but
yeah, I've been taking zinc and vitamin C and a little bit of everything.
Hey, Stu.
Stay healthy.
Another mic. Boy, we got the mics on tonight.
Yeah, we do. It's the night of the mics.
And Gary Stewart, I call him Stu. Vitamin D, Charlie. Vitamin D. When we're not in our bees, you need vitamin D. There's Darren. I've been noticing he wasn't around for a while. Can we click on that?
What's that?
Darren? He hasn't been on in quite a while. He's got his priorities straight, I see.
Yep.
But let's see, we got. But anyway, that's what's happening here. I checked the observation hive this afternoon, and bees were all over the pollen patty and the sugar cakes and the crumbly sugar cake that I had there. Actually, I was watching. What's the fella across the mountain there from you, Bill, over there on
Ryan,
the redheaded guy?
Yeah.
He took the same idea that I had, maybe added a few things differently. He took sugar, pollen powder, maybe either some honey or some Cairo syrup. And he just mixed it up in a 5-gallon bucket.
Yep.
And it was kind of, I'll say, moist. And he also put something else in there. I forget what it was. It might have been Cairo syrup. I forget. He didn't really come out and say. That way, he's just scooped it up and plopped, put a piece of paper on top of the frames, plopped it on top of the hive as a fondant and sugar combination, or not a fondant, but a pollen powder combination. And so it looked, kind of like what I had there. I was complaining about it being in crumbly, but maybe it's easier on the bees' tongues and all that stuff to what he was talking about.
No, yeah, they might eat it a little bit better. I mean, he has good success with overwintering bees too. So, you know,
So I had a thought.
Most or moist?
moist. So, what was your thought, Nancy?
So most of the people that we're talking to in these chats are saying that they lost their hives because they wouldn't put on weight in the winter. Sounds like that's the common denominator in our group, which is hobbyists and sideliners, right? I guess more or less. So my thought got to thinking. Mine didn't either. Mine just would not put on weight in the fall. No matter what I gave them, they consumed it, but they didn't store it. So I'm just wondering if there's something with the bee. What's preventing it from, I mean, other than just being extremely hungry, but my losses are at 30% now, which I'm usually at I winter 100% most years, but I'm at a 30% loss now. So why weren't the bees storing food?
Could
Is
be
it
a
just
number of
simple that
reasons.
they didn't have enough? Or is there something going on with the bee?
So when you're saying you mean you're lifting the hive to see whether or not they're heavy enough is what?
Yeah. There's no weight. Then no matter what I did, no matter what I gave them last fall, they would not put on weight. So my losses were within the past 10 days due to starvation. There's no food, and I'm giving them food. They just didn't move to it. You know, some of them are doing quite well. They're above the food. They're taking it. But I was just wondering if maybe, why didn't they store it?
They're missing something in their diet early in the fall.
Peabody.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey,
Hey, what's going
Ryan.
on, guys?
Yeah,
Working
they're
tonight, huh?
Yeah, heading into work.
they're missing something in their diet in the fall.
But why didn't they store it? Like you give them everything. You give them all the buffet. I gave them pollen. I gave them fondant. I gave them syrup, thin syrup, thick syrup. The whole gamut. Drought nectar was okay.
That's because we had no fall flow.
Right.
They're probably eating it.
Yeah, they were consuming it.
Yeah.
All of it.
If they don't have some sort of flow, goldenrod or something like that in the fall, they're not going to pack anything. And it's either that or they're missing a mineral or missing a vitamin or they're missing something in their diet that they're getting from that fall flow. So they're not going to pack it. They're just going to eat it.
Yeah. Well, the syrup, I gave them thick syrup too. Like I start out real thin and then I thicken up and they just wouldn't store, really didn't store much anything. Feeding too late when the bees aren't active enough to store it. Now, I started feeding in August, Darren. My drought started, and I mean, I typically feed in August and like September because I don't have a fall flow. I don't have enough fall to even, it's bad in my little nook here. Well, you can see it in the background, but
You guys know the guy from the Keepers Hive, the guy that runs the
yeah, George.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he messaged me and he told me that my singles wouldn't be so light if I had a 1.5 to 2 inch insulation on top. Is what he was trying to tell me. So I guess I'll try that. I'll try that next year.
Anything's worth a try at this point. But we start feeding as soon as the week after we pull honey, our feeders go on. And we pull honey July 4th.
Yep.
So we feed the T55 fructose up and until we stop feeding near the end of November. And typically by then they're not taking it any longer because their fat bodies are built up and the empty comb that they had on it is full.
Now, Ryan, did
Mark.
you get a late flow in July this year? Because I did.
A little bit, but I mean, we didn't get much rain though, Charlie.
Yeah, but you know something? I don't know what was flowing, but
Yeah,
I put my third medium back on, and in 2 weeks' time, it was completely full.
I made a bunch of splits around that time, and they had nectar. They were getting nectar.
Yeah, there was a late flow this year that we typically don't get. I think it had a lot to do with the grasses and the trees re-blooming in the late summer because it didn't have any water until late summer.
I don't know. I mean, we didn't get that second hay crop like we normally do, second or third one, because of that drought. But
yeah, we got a second one, but we didn't get a third one.
No, we didn't get a third one.
So in my bee club, my local bee club here in Southern Maryland, the Facebook group, everyone's freaking out about all the commercial hive losses and everything. And I'm trying to explain to them that just because there's a however many percentage loss, I said commercial and hobby backyard beekeepers totally different. I said, don't freak out. Those people are moving hives. They're on almonds. They're getting pollen from all kinds of different states. And I said that's not necessarily doesn't mean that we're going to lose all our bees.
No.
Here comes a commercial boy in now from out in Utah.
But the other thing, Ryan, that I was reading today, that the commercial beekeepers, when they move those hives all around the country like that, they make the circuit, they're stressing those bees out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the symptoms that they're having and what they're seeing are, to me, having been in this for decades, it's the same symptoms you see with Nosema serrano. And Nosema serrano doesn't come on quick. It'll give you the appearance that it's happening quick, but it's been there for a couple of months, and the stress of the bees being moved around and poor food, poor diet, that can do it. And that can cause Nosema serrano, which if they're looking in front of the hives when they go to move them and pick them up and they see dead bees on the ground, that's what it's pointing to for me. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. They're describing those symptoms exactly to the T, that it's Nosema serrano.
Yeah, I know they took a bunch of samples, but they won't get that back for months.
It'll be months, and then it might be too late.
But they think whatever happened, it was last summer. It wasn't what happened that was over the winter. It was last summer, and it's just like you said, it's just getting to the bees now.
Yeah. Well, see, Nosema serrano is a small parasite. So, I mean, it depends. I don't know. I'm just looking at what they're describing is happening.
Yeah, and then I also heard possibly they got into some pollen that was sprayed with a new pesticide. I don't think anyone really knows till we get the results.
Yeah, I think that's all hypothetical.
Yeah, it's all hypothetical right now.
Right.
Hi, Lee.
So, Bracken, what's happening? How's the bees out in the orchards? You said they were fine last week.
Yeah, their last update, they're still doing good. So
That's good.
Yep, they're in the orchards. I don't think any bloom's coming on yet. He said it'd been raining a little bit where they're at, so.
I heard it. Was it almonds or a little bit ahead of the game or something? Or was it apples or something you were talking about?
Almonds. So where he's at, up in Chico, he says they have a variety up there that's pretty early. And so they usually bloom quite a bit before the big, like the central southern part of the almonds.
I think she's waving at Nancy because I don't know. Nancy popped off last time and said, she said goodbye, Nancy. She said goodbye, Nancy.
Let me see you. Hello. How are you? Hi.
She's got to be here.
Good. That's good. We like having her.
She's
Of course,
kind of
Dad's
distraction.
talking about bees, and I want to be involved.
Shh. You gotta listen.
So I missed a little bit of that, Bracken. What are you seeing out there?
They're not much. I'm not out there. They're with the broker that I'm using. My
Oh,
buddy.
okay.
But the update on them, he says they're doing good. And I actually me and the guy that I sent some with tonight, we put together about 45 nukes, and we're gonna ship them down there next weekend. Well, he's actually gonna take them down because the guy that's got my bees is like, you are gonna have to split these things before you pick these up, or you're gonna lose bees. So I says, well, I'll bring down some nukes, and he'll make splits for me. And
So you're taking the empty boxes, right, Bracken?
what was that?
You're going to take empties down.
Yeah, so I'm taking 5-frame nukes, and they'll all have drawn out foundation in them, and we'll just take like I said, I think we're taking 45 or 47 of them, but we'll just wrap them up on a pallet, and then he's gonna take them in his truck, haul them down, and then Okie will be able to split them for me, and then he's gonna drop queen cells in them. Hopefully those will take. If they hatch, we'll give it a little bit of time. Then I'll go down and pick them up and see and bring them home. So if I don't do something, I'm going to lose a lot of bees to the trees. So I got a sense.
Well, you need to, that'd be great to increase and you had a few dead outs, and heck, now you can go again. You can double your, at least grow by a third, let's say, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sending way more than you know what I mean. There's no way he's gonna make 45 nukes. Like I don't see that happening. But I would rather send, a bunch extra than be short. So I've got them. I've got the equipment, and Brad, my buddy, he's got the equipment. So we're just gonna send what we can, and if I have to bring it back empty, I'll bring it back empty.
Hey, Rick. There's another Rick here. I guess he's down there and still down in Florida down there, even with his couple thousand hives. Jeez. Ryan, I'm going to unmute you again. They're just all the noise, that's all.
Oh, what, in the car?
Yeah, the truck or whatever you're riding in.
I'm gonna get back on. I'm gonna get back on in a little while, Charlie.
All right.
Can you kick me? How do I get off this thing?
Can I?
He needs help.
Yeah, I can take you out.
Yeah, take me out. I'll call you. I'll call you when I get in my work truck.
Okay, very good.
All right.
See you.
Yeah, I hope when you kick them out, sometimes they can't come back in that day anymore. So
I removed him. I didn't kick him out.
You just removed him. Okay. Yeah, so it was kind of weird to see Umberto come on alive like in the middle of the day like that. I don't even know how I saw it. I came in a couple minutes late, but somehow I was able to catch that live with him and what's his name? Blake Shook.
Yeah, Blake Shook from the bee supply store.
Now Rick here, he's a commercial.
Yep.
He must have some out. Rick, you got him out in California, and they says they're looking good out there. Like Bracken's bees are out there. And all that.
Well, where are they seeing all these issues at? Because they never really said where they were, did they?
They said the Central Valley, so wherever that. I mean, I hear about that, but is that where your stuff is at, Bracken?
No, mine's in northern. Mine's up in Chico. Turlock, California. I know that's pretty central. That's where I sent them last year. But I don't know. I haven't heard much. I don't talk to there's a commercial guy over the hill. He sends his bees down there, but I haven't talked to him at all this year. So I don't know. I don't know a whole lot of super big guys,
So yours in Chico, and then your neighbors down in the valley someplace?
No, no. His are with mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his are with my bees in Chico. But last year we sent them to Turlock, which is more central. Well, further south than Chico. I don't know if it's necessarily central.
Yeah.
Mm.
So anyway, but so I don't know. Mine are looking good so far. I haven't seen any problems. I got one hive there it seems to be weak. It's not taking down the food like the rest of them. But in another month or so, maybe things will turn around for them. I don't know. So
Yeah, we had a hot day the other day. It got up to, it was a record breaking temperature for, it was February. Let's see, what's the date today? 7th.
Today's 7th.
It was the 4th, I think, on Tuesday, but it got up to like 64 degrees, which is unheard of.
64.
Yeah, it was warm. So I made a little video. I went and put some Hive Alive fondant on my bees. They were buzzing like crazy. Man, everybody was awake and moving. And then last night it was 21 degrees. So
I think I've seen that video.
Cooling off again. What was that?
I think I watched that video. I'm not sure.
No, this one's coming out Sunday.
Okay. Here it got up Tuesday. It was warmer than Monday when I was out there, but Monday didn't have any wind. Tuesday the bees were flying in all the hives, and but it was windy, but they were out and about in pretty good strong numbers. The nukes, when I made that last video on that day before, actually, I went through them and they weren't up. There was one nuke that was actually bees in the top, and they were eating a pollen patty I'd left in there. And the rest of them, you couldn't tell whether they were alive or not. But then the next day, they were all out in good numbers, except for maybe one of the nukes. So, but it's still early for us, as far as getting the bees out and everything and that kind of stuff. But, it is what it is. I mean, all I can say is I think I prevented some starvation this year by getting in really early. And I kind of dialed in when putting my pollen patties on, making, now they're devouring them, taking them down like they should. And whereas in years past, I got them in too late. And then here comes the maple trees a blooming. And they're like, forget these things. We want the maple trees and the real stuff. And so I feel like I'm getting my money's worth. I guess I'm getting my money's worth out of these pollen patties with rocket fuel in them. We'll see.
Well, as long as your bees aren't starving, you're getting your money's worth.
True,
instead of having dead outs and stuff like that. So,
are there any field tests that can be completed to find out what viruses the bees have? Like, is there any sort of tests that tell us what viruses they are other than what we visually can see? Like the string wing and the K wing and the bulb bee and all those, handful that we can actually visualize. Is there any field tests that you can do?
If there are, you'd have to ask state apiarists about that, because they would be the ones to come do the testing.
Well,
I don't think there is. I think it has to be more of a laboratory level.
Yeah.
I know, but like if you could take 5 bees or something, or 10 bees or 20 bees, whatever, X number, put them in a bag, mush them up, add some stuff, and see what color they turn to know which viruses they have. I mean, that's rudimentary, but you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't I don't think it's
I
out
don't-
there.
We don't
I
have
don't
that.
either. I don't think it's out there either.
It could be if they would put the money into it.
Yeah.
Maybe yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what we need to do is write to somebody. Or I did see that the survey had some information for people to contact, to talk to a little bit about more of this and to get some money behind it or make some noise, I guess is what they're saying.
Yeah, there you go. John had a good suggestion. Get a microscope and do some microscopy. You can do it in the field.
If you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, but yeah, it needs to be a little more foolproof than that or dumbed down.
Then I would take a couple of bees and send them to Beltsville.
Yeah, I don't know whether that's free or not at that point.
Yeah, and how far out is that? Like,
Oh,
I mean,
with all the other stuff going on, it could be months.
yeah, no, I'm talking about being able to do a test in the yard and treat via the test.
Well, there's a foul brood test, and I believe there's a
Mm.
European foul brood test, but those are the only
The-
field tests that I know of.
But the test for the mites, the 22 viruses or whatever that magic number is, I don't know what they're at by now, but the viruses that the mites bring, instead of just waiting to see if they die.
Yeah, Mark says just get ready to spend some money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, can't we, right? Yeah.
So how was a Wednesday night show, Nancy?
No, Henley, I'm not saying that. But we're in the yard, we're busy, it's heavy, I mean, no, I'm not saying that. Foolproof. What am I saying? Well, a consistent test. I guess to tease this out a little bit more, a consistent test that's going to give me the same answer result as Bill or Charlie or Bracken. Like, not a determination. Am I seeing what I'm seeing in a slide?
Well, Hanley says they like rolling the dice every winter.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's too expensive. Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan, like a simple it's a simple test. Like,
Yeah.
a simple test. Maybe it's not as simple as we're, you know.
Yeah, just have the bees pee on the strip.
Yeah,
There you
pregnancy test. That's funny.
Oh,
You
Lord.
guys are funny.
Yeah. You'd think they'd be able to do something.
You would think so, yeah.
You can spit in a
Hey,
cup
Kathy.
and send it, and they can give
There's
you
another
extra
she-keeper.
history. But
Yep. So, but hey, Tom.
where are you from, Nancy?
North of Philadelphia.
That's right. I'll probably ask you.
But
this
in a
part too.
north of Philadelphia enough to be like I'm next to a dairy farm. So I can't see the city. I can't see the city from here, but I'm out in a rural area.
Sweet.
Not like what you would think being outside the city, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Cool. How many colonies you got?
So I run anywhere between 20 and 40. I've gotten up to 53 here, but I couldn't support it. Wasn't enough forage for 53. So my ideal is like would be 40. But went into winter with 25 this year, and I'm down 7, I think. But I've overwintered 37, 100% of 37 already.
Sweet.
That's good.
But I baby them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're here. They're in my house, so I'm.
You don't ever move them anywhere?
Hmm?
Do you ever transport them or move them?
No.
Yeah,
No.
I think it was Bill saying a little bit earlier, I know moving them, man, it stresses them.
Yeah.
If you can.
So when you move them like that, what do you see as far as stressors or any evidence of that?
Oh, I don't know. You can just tell that they're more agitated. They're just different. It's, they can't enjoy a 12-hour trip bouncing down the freeway, It's just
Yeah.
you know how when you go and, wiggle the box, it irritates them when you hear them burn that energy. And I just think it causes I think it's very stressful on them. But as far as like actually seeing that, I don't know.
I guess it's about like having a skunk or something out there constantly scratching the hive all night long, and then they're agitated during the daytime when you're there.
Yep.
So traveling down the road like that does the same thing.
It's probably quite a bit worse. That, you hit some pretty good potholes and bumps, and it's got to be, I'd like to put a camera inside the hive and see what happens as I'm traveling down the road. That'd be kind of cool. See how bad they're actually, is it jumping enough that it's shaking them off the frames, or they,
That would be really interesting. That would be very interesting to put some sort of sensor, even a sensor to let you know what the jar rate, like how much they're jostling in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I imagine on my little truck and trailer, it's probably a little bit more than a 80,000-pound semi. They're built a little bit better. It's probably a little bit smoother ride, I would imagine. I don't know. I'm not.
Rick says it ain't too bad.
Oh, okay.
He moves a couple thousand of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you hit a pothole in the hive, even though you got it strapped down, it cocks sideways and all the bees come out in downtown Woodstock.
You know that by a friend, right, Bill? A friend told you that.
Yeah.
A friend once told me.
We were moving our bees, and there used to be a pothole in downtown Woodstock, and it was right at a crosswalk right in front of the courthouse. And you couldn't really miss it with a trailer. So the trailer hit this pothole, and I saw the hive jump and turn, and then I see a black cloud come out of it, and everybody at the corner just starts swatting and running. Oh, those bees were not happy.
Oh my! And of course, you didn't have a net.
No. Why would I have a net on it?
You just went faster. You just hit the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kept moving a little bit faster.
Yeah, but like I say, that's what's happening here. Cold weather, and supposed to snow or ice or do something tomorrow after lunch, I think it is.
Yeah.
So as far as what I seen in the observation hive there, just to see on the food stores, it's been in there, well, it'll be almost a week. And they're eating on it, but they haven't went through it. I mean, it'll be at least a couple of weeks. They'll I won't have to worry about them for at least a couple of weeks, I think.
Have you guys ever put a hive in a windowsill? Like down, you know what I'm talking about? Do you guys have the window seals? Like your basement windows? You got that big thing that comes out?
Yeah, you mean the window well?
Yeah, the window.
Well. Windows. No, yeah, well, sorry, not seal. Window well.
No, I've never done that.
I just was thinking about it. I'm building my house, and I was looking out the basement windows the other day, and I remembered I have a buddy he gets bees once in a while, and he puts one down in that window well, and you said observation hive, and it made me think of that. You can sit just right there and watch them go in and out, and I thought that would be kind of cool. I might try that. Put a little nuke or something down in there. Kids can sit and watch it, but I wanted to do one of those clear ones where you put the hole through have them go outside, but my wife, there's no way that'll happen. So
Every time I ever see those observation hives, they always seem to fail and die out after a while.
Yeah.
That's why I think it'd be cool to put a nuke or something that's just little down in a window well, because watching them fly in and out, I don't know, I think it'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, but now would be the time to build one in. You're building a house. You could build one in and not use it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because that's not,
in there, you could see if I could catch a swarm in it. That'd be cool.
You could build one in there, but then.
Here's what Rick says. More stressed than traveling down the road.
Yep.
And I think there's some studies on that. What is it? If you go into the hive, it takes so many hours or days for those hives to settle back down.
Yep.
2 days.
Or is it?
I think they said 2 days.
Or is it also smoke? Also, for them to get their, senses back, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, I think smoke does a little bit to them too, but it's, I don't know, 2 to 3 days before they are actually working properly again. After if you go in them every week.
Mm-hmm.
And people wonder why they have hot hives.
Yeah. I mean, I just go in mine a little bit in the spring, but I'm putting Formic on real early again this year in April, and then I'll put supers on later in whatever, the end of May or the end of April, beginning of May, and then I won't look at them again until August.
Yep.
So, when I'm in irritating them or splitting and doing more of that, that's either early spring or August. So, I'm irritating them, but not when they're supposed to be working.
So, do you put one super on at a time, or do you put a bunch of them on?
No, I put 3. I'll put 3 on at a time, and then I'll manipulate the frames if I don't have nothing else to do. I'll manipulate frames in those 3 boxes, and I'll even move them from hive to hive. I'll move them around.
You use mediums?
I use mediums with white foundation for my supers, and then black deep a black deep and a medium deep with black foundation for so I don't ever mix it up. I don't ever have brood in my because I use queen excluder, but I don't have brood in my supers. So I don't know. I think it gives you a cleaner, clearer honey in the spring, but I'm hobbyist. Like, I can do that kind of stuff. Get my 1,500, 2,000 pounds a year and be happy. Hi, Joey. Joey's on.
Yeah. Gary there about getting queens from a commercial guy. I would say what he's going to try to do is he wants you to have the genetics that he has to keep the genetic pool the same if he's breeding.
Yeah.
In your area. That's why he wants you to do that. I know that Megan Melbreath out there in Michigan. She would go to people's hives that were very close to hers, and she's trying to develop a queen breed or whatever.
Yeah.
And she would go to them and knock on their front doors and say, hey, would you mind? I'll give you queens to put them in your hives that keep all the genetics the same.
Yeah, because it also creates a DCA that's surrounding her hives or that commercial beekeeper's hives. So if he needs to mate a queen, he can mate a queen and it keeps those genetics. So that's the easy way to do it.
Yeah, says he's developed a mite resistant queen to breed with. Developed a mite resistant queen and wants his queens to breed with offspring drones. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, take him up on it as far as I can tell. I mean, if he's got that kind of quality queens, then you can have those kind of quality queens. If his mite resistant queens do what he says they do.
Yeah, but if you take that person's queens, Gary, and you don't like the genetics, or they after a certain period of time they become hot hives, then there's an issue with the breeding program. So you need to make sure that you do something else.
There you go, Charlie.
All right, it's just he's got a vaporizer. Find there's many varied options on a good treatment regimen. What's your regimen, or does it vary? My regimen is, when it comes to OA vapor, it doesn't do you any good to be. OA vapor can be if you're overloaded with mites, it can be a great knockdown tool. But if you're trying to do more of a management of your mite load, I mean, a lot of folks I hear on these chats, especially the ones that are the newer beekeepers, well, we're going to vaporize in September and October, and or July or August. And I'm like, you're just blowing in the wind. And because you got brood in there, it's cap brood. 80% of your mites are underneath the cappings. If that's what, if the science folks know what they're talking about. And one of the things that kind of proved that, if you go back and watch Bob Binney about 3 or 4 weeks ago, he was in there. He was checking hives, checking mite loads. And he had last check was, I think, September, and they were washing ones and zeros, mostly zeros. He back in there in December, I believe it was. Maybe it was, I guess it was close to the end of December. He was washing sevens and the same highs that were washing zeros a couple months prior. So, so you really need to vaporize when there is little to no brood. I don't think a hive is actually completely broodless, depending on where you live at. And I mean, I know like Brad down there, Cajun Homestead, he's down there, and Joseph, they're all down in the great deep south there. They got brood frames 12 months out of the year. And and they also got heat and humidity and all this other stuff that they got to configure. Their mite treatment program is different from what I know that Gary's up in West Virginia. So I say you need to be blowing smoke, as I call it, November, December, January, depending on weather conditions. I like it at 45 degrees. The cluster's not flying, but the clusters has broken apart and moving around in there. And that way you can get the mites that way. And so January, the last 2 years, this year and last year, January, I didn't do anything. It was too cold. But I can tell you about this year, I made sure before I have screen bottom boards. So I have a mite tray in there, a core plastic, what do you call it? Cardboard. Isn't it time intensive? Yes, it isn't. I used to do all that kind of stuff. I'll get into that, Russell. So anyway, I made sure this year I cleared that board off, made it clean, slipped it in, blew my smoke, came back in 24 to 48 hours, counted the mite drops. Now, when I say count, I mean, I don't sit there and count 1, 2, 3. I pull it out. If you look at it and those mites just pop out at you because there's so many of them, you got an issue with that hive. If you look at the board and you got some trash on it and stuff from the cappings, and it's like, oh, there's one mite there, and oh, there's a mite over here and a mite over there. Not so bad, and then that's where you kind of count a general count. Do I have 20 mites or whatever? So I did that, and when I first did my first mite treatment was on the November the 2nd, which I believe was a Saturday. This year, I had 5 hives that were extraordinarily a lot of mite drops, and I checked them the next day, which was a Sunday, and I blew smoke into those 5 hives again. And then I came and I'm trying to do this on a 2-week basis per month, every 2 weeks, and going through the winter. And I'd say by the end of December, when I would check those mite drops, I was down to where I wasn't seeing any mite drops. I might have had 3 or 4 hives that might have had 5 or 6 mites on it, which I ain't worried about that. It's at all. And I'm not worried about it to the point where it was too cold in January, so I'm not really worried about it. They're going to die over mite loads. Now I'm going to hit them this month sometime as soon as it kind of warms up. But it seems like this year we're getting a lot of snow and ice and cold weather. We're not having a early spring or anything of that type of thing. Now, let me run that back. Saying all that's what I'm doing with OA in the wintertime. And Russell's talking about if you do a lot of treatments, it's time sensitive. Yes, previous years, about 3 or 4 years ago, I would start doing OA after Labor Day weekend, and I was doing it twice a week. I had gotten up to twice a week for 6 to 7 consecutive weeks until the time changes over and falls back, and it would be dark by 4 o'clock or 4:30. And I thought I was going to get the mites coming out of the cappings on a rotation. I'll catch them like Aprivar, because Aprivar is a thoracic mite treatment. It only kills the mites on the outside of the cells, not inside. And I figured if I did it often enough, I would be able to do like Aprivar, and it didn't work out. I had a lot of mite loss, or a lot of hive loss that one year, and it was a lot of work. A lot of work, putting several hours, 3 or 4 hours in a week, doing all that stuff. And I like the way I'm doing it now, where I do it twice a month or every couple weeks. Not so bad. And then in September, I hit them with Formic Pro, full strength, 2 strips. Usually you got to find a thing, like I say on my videos, low humidity, low temperatures. I like 80 degrees and less. I don't like it at 85. Haven't had a queen issue because of that. And I Formic everything. And that's usually around Labor Day, and usually have a cool spell, 4 or 5 days of low humidity, low temperatures. And let's see what else. I usually treat in I was using Aprivar. I just got tested by the National Honeybee Survey this year again, and it proved that Aprivar does not work. My mite load was something like, after she tested me on the 6th week of the product testing, and I had almost 11 mites per 300 bees. So it didn't, after 6 weeks of being in highs, it didn't work. So Apriguard's going to go coming into play. That'll be I'm like Darren with Pennsylvania Beekeeper. He was worried about Formic Pro. I'm worried about Apriguard, and I'll say I'm going to try to hit it in early August, or not August, but July with that, and see how that works. Probably a 25-gram dose 4 times, 4 weeks, in concession. And that's really all I do. I don't treat them in the spring and all that. And I mean, you could put the oxalic acid extend release things on there in the spring. What's his name from down there in Tennessee?
Cayman.
No, it wasn't Cayman. It was Bob Benny had him on.
Yeah. He had a conversation with him about it.
I can't remember his name right off.
Yeah.
You could do that and then keep a really low mite load. That might keep it low enough to get all the way through till September to do Formic.
Yeah, or you can do Formic Pro in the spring too.
Yeah, you could do that too. I don't know whether I would actually have a great mite load or not by that time. Is that Stella Rose, Bracken? Okay.
Yeah, she's trying to hog the camera there. She's trying to show everybody her marker. She drew on her.
I was wondering what that was.
I saw that.
What is it?
It's marker.
She drew on her chin. She started here, went down with a marker or something, or went there and came up.
That's her new tattoo, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other day she came out. Oh no, it's cleaned off now, but her whole arm was covered, and she said, "Look, Dad, I got a tattoo like you." I was like, oh dear.
Yeah, that's right. Mike Greg Rogers, who I was thinking about.
Greg Rogers, yes.
So that's what I do, Shane, and all. And it's been working for me. I've been tweaking this over the years, trying to figure out. I mean, I first started, it was Mite Away Quick Strips, and I tried that. I didn't know all the particulars about it because you couldn't, you didn't have these chats and, things like, make sure your entrance is open and make sure, or, my question was, well, do you put the darn chloroplast board underneath the screen bottom? And yes, you're supposed to do that. And it's like everything that I think people do, or at least I do, is once you understand how to do it and know the details, everything's detail for me. Then it's like with Mike Rogers, he came out with the extended release, but he gave out the scientific knowledge behind it, the more details about it. And then you feel more comfortable of doing something like that. And of course, things have changed where you can put oxalic acid with your honey supers on and things of that nature, which only you only had that with formic acid. So it's kind of what I'm doing. It seems to be working. I think that a lot of people, it's like the chat that me and Nancy get on in the beginning before we get on mine. I treated in September and October, and I'm like, yeah, you did, but they're all doing OA and stuff, and I'm like, you didn't do anything because you got 2 or 3 frames of cat brood in there at that time where we live. And they don't understand that. They don't get the concept of that. I guess because they're 2-year beekeepers or what they've been told by some of the clubs, oh yeah, that's great. Well, it's not that great. You know, I think that it's getting to the point, in my opinion, where we have to treat our bees basically 12 months out of the year.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It's a full year for me. Treating mites is all year long.
Yep.
It's an all year treatment plan.
Yep.
My management is all year.
Yeah, and I think the newer beekeepers, well, at least the 2 years at least are older. It's, I don't know, you get some beekeepers that are like trying to go to, like for me and Nancy and whatever, we're out there, we're going to conferences, we're going to different clubs. We might belong to 5 different clubs and trying to get all these nuggets of information in and process it. And we're trying our darnest to be perfectionists about how to keep bees alive and get them through and make a crop of honey or whatever we're trying to do. We're maybe selling nukes, queens, whatever. And then there's the other folks. Huh?
Philip's on. Philip Morris is on. I haven't seen him in a while either. Sorry, Charlie.
And then there's the other folks that like, well, let's put bees in a box and walk away. Well, that doesn't work anymore. Those days are long gone.
Yeah, I think I do my when I do vaporization, my regimen is every 3 days, because I was told that the mites run around. They have to be founderous for 3 days in order to get back in and start laying. So I do my vaporization every 3 days for a 21 day cycle, and then I'll do that September, October, November. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of whatever you have to kind of develop your own treatment program and where you live. And it's like, all right, Nancy, her job is beekeeping, so she's got full-time availability. Mine's not. I don't have normal daytime availability. Right now, things are very slow at work, so I can kind of take. We can kind of lay back a little bit, and I took off a half a day, Monday, because there was a window that I knew that I had to be done that day, or I wasn't going to get it done the rest of the week. And I got it all done.
There's Jeff. There's Jeff from Chester. Murphy.
Hey, Murphy. And all that kind of stuff. And
yeah, we're seeing 4.5 days, 4 to 5 days. I treat on 3 days. Every 3 days.
Yeah, but I look at that and every 4 to 5, I do 4 to 5 days apart 4 times. But what time of the year are we doing that?
September, October, November. For me, it's late. It's the fall. I don't vaporize any other time of the year. I use other methods.
Yeah.
Well, I mean Formic, but yeah, it's in the fall. I'm feeding, treating, whatever. It's a lot going on at that time of year. 5 days is best. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still sticking with. Be a good research to see what the papers say on that. How many days does it take for them to run around? I do every 3 days, 7 times. See, okay, there's Matthew's on my page. Whereas on
yeah, I don't know who the professional was at Navi. It all depends. I think.
Oh, Charlie, way back, Doug was saying he'd like to see you do a video on vaporizing with that solid lid on. Do a vaporize treatment
with the clear lid.
with the clear lid on.
Okay, yeah, okay, I could do that. Yeah,
That would be cool.
there's Donna. I guess Chester must be shutting down.
Oh, hey Donna. Yeah, see, she treats every 3 days. Well, we were taught by the same person, Donna and I. We treat every 3 days.
Yeah, man, Mike's talking
Yeah.
about Cameron Jack, and I'll tell you, I don't really put a lot of stock in what Cameron had talked about. We had him here 3 years ago. I think it was at the Maryland Bee Conference right here at the community college, right close to my house. And he talked about OA, his studies with vapor, and that was when he got on Cayman about a week later and said, the vapor wasn't any good, and it was a bunch of negative talk about oxalic acid vapor. And he was here live, and I said, "When did you do that?" And he said, "Oh, I did. I can't remember the exact date. I'm going to say December or January is when he was vaporizing in Florida." And he said, and then he came right back to me and stated to me, "That's like you doing it here in Maryland in September." And I'm like, I won't be doing it in September, So to me, the only thing he proved is that vapor doesn't work all that great in the deep South where it's warm in the middle of winter time.
Because they have brood on the hive.
They got brood on the hive.
So with OA, we do twice in December, twice in January, once in February, and that's the only time we use OA. The rest of the year, we rotate between Formic Pro and Apogard.
Right. And with me, I'm doing it basically twice in November, twice in December. The last couple this year and last year, I didn't do anything in January because it was too cold, or I didn't have the opportunity to be off in order to do it. Maybe there might have been a 45-degree day in January. And then here it is this year in February. I did it twice last year in February. And this year, I'm not sure. I mean, we're talking snow and ice this weekend. We're talking snow and ice or snow or whatever, maybe the middle of next week.
Yep.
So I don't know what the weekend I'm going to be down there in Virginia with you, teaching a class.
Yeah, you might help me push snow Sunday morning to get you out of here.
Is that right? So maybe I need to bring my pickup truck down this time.
It might be advisable, especially if it's 4-wheel drive.
Oh, it's 4-wheel drive.
All right.
Well, we'll have to talk about that later on.
Keith, they're talking about the tests were 1 ounce. The vaporizing was 1 ounce per box, and Keith says that's enough to make him sneeze.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
1 ounce. I mean, you got to be kidding me.
No, 1 gram. Well, it's supposed to be 1 gram, not 1 ounce.
Or 1 gram. 1 gram. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So we treat with a minimum of 4 grams every hive, regardless of the size of the hive. 4 grams.
Yeah. Yeah. And mine get a little more than that sometimes.
Yep. Depends on how I feel that day.
Yeah, the last time I looked, there was no bee cops lurking behind the shed or the bushes. So
exactly.
I guess I'm gonna be okay for a little while.
Yeah, I think we all will be.
Yeah, that's like Cajun down there. He had that overrun hive there, and he was using the prescribed dosage of 8 grams.
Yep. Hey, Brad, did those hives calm down any?
That was something. There was another gal here in one of my other clubs that I never thought about it, but she said, when her hives get a little pissy, she vaporizes them.
Yep.
And they calm right down. They calm down. So they must be getting ate on by varroa mites.
Yep.
Yeah. That makes you wonder.
Well, she said she'd go in there and she'll blow smoke a couple times and then they calm right down.
Yep.
They say that the comparison of a mite on a bee is like us having a dinner plate, which is a 9-inch. Most dinner plates are 9 inches.
Yep.
It'd be like having a 9-inch dinner plate hooked on you. What if you had 1 or 2 of those? You'd be like, what the heck? You'd be
Yeah, get
grumpy.
rid of this damn thing off me. Hey, Charlie, I got popcorn ready. You want some?
Yeah, I'll take
Ah.
some. My. But
Yeah, Philip, every 4 to 5 days. Try tighten that up to 3 and see what you get. You do a drop.
Yeah, Russell, you're right about that. 4 grams per box. It is a lot more lethal than the old 1 gram per box or 2 grams per box. Yeah, you just got to be careful who you say 4 grams around sometimes.
Well, yeah, and are their bees still alive?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe
what's that for here or what?
on Charlie's chat there.
And there's Lynn.
Yep. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Lynn. What's this? I was on because a few subs if you want. Huh. Charlie, do you remember how I changed my StreamYard back to dark? Remember the other week when I did that? I can't figure it out. It's bright. It's right in my face, giving me a headache. Do you
Go
know
in
how to make it
settings.
dark?
In settings.
Yeah, I don't. It's not there.
Yeah, it is.
There's nothing there to turn it off this time. And I don't know why.
That's because you're on somebody else's StreamYard. You can only do it on your own.
Yeah, you go into settings, you click on general,
Yep.
and then you
I
click
don't
on
have a
parent.
general.
Go to
I
general.
don't have a general.
Yeah, but you
There's
got to
no
go in
general.
you have to log into your account and do it.
He's like that, you mean? Is it white now or is it black?
Yeah, it's white.
No, it's still white. So I gotta log into mine. Okay.
Where'd she go to?
She's logging into her own account.
Push the wrong button.
Yeah.
I just turned mine to black, which is the black background. It
Yeah,
makes
that's what I do too. Dark mode.
But she's back. There's hers there.
Is that better?
There it is. Yeah, that's better.
Sorry about that. I rewatched it. I was like, good Lord.
That was a lot of background noise.
Hey, Mike, Minnesota Mike. I didn't hear about no 9 inches. That's all for sure. Yeah, we were running out of wood for the wood stove down at the mill. We cut a bunch of it up this morning. It was dry wood, been laying around, a bunch of junk. Yeah, I seen it was supposed to rain Friday for me up here, Bill, and
Well, they're not calling for anything down here until Friday night. And then it's supposed to clear off Saturday morning and then rain again Saturday night. But they've changed the forecast here Wednesday. They were calling for 5 to 8. Now it's 3 to 5.
5 to 8. Now it's 3 to 5. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're calling for up here tomorrow afternoon. Something.
Yeah, I was supposed to come
I'll
to
be home,
Pennsylvania
so-
tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be home, so it doesn't I'll be home by noon, so
Yeah,
After that, I don't have much.
I had
see
to
you later.
cancel my woodenware pickup. So, Nancy, you see that from Kodiak?
What do you
He
say?
got
said
it.
check. He said check your phone.
Lee,
I did.
Lee.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Lee, I need to talk to you too. Make sure I might have to do. I'm gonna possibly do a remote show from Bill's house next week. So I got to find out what all I need.
Hey,
Hello,
Matt.
Matt.
Oh yes.
We have a
Yes,
new
Lee
Hey
had
Charlie, how
referred.
you doing?
good. Where are we at? Where are you from? Or
That's good.
is that
Where are you
I'm
from?
from
Matt?
Where's your location, Matt?
I'm from upstate New York. I live in a small town called Hamlin,
it's
Hamlin, New York.
yeah, Morrison Bees, right?
Morris Homestead.
Morris
Yeah.
Homestead. Yeah.
Morris
Okay.
Homestead.
I don't usually get to see your face, Matt. That's you're
Yeah.
usually behind the truck driving wheel.
Yeah, I know. Normally, I've been in. Yeah, I'm not behind a wheel tonight, so I figured I'd come in.
That's cool. And also, how's things are? I mean, I know you are expanding and trying to grow, and how's that coming along as far as how many hives did you get up to?
Are you okay?
Oh, right now I only have 5 colonies, but the plan this year is to get at least 10 going into winter. So I'm not growing that much, but just a steady grow.
That's good. That's good.
Hey, Matt, is your YouTube channel Morris Family Homestead?
Um,
Morris Family Homestead, right?
I think
Matt?
it's just I think it's just the Morris Homestead.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have many videos online. My kids make a bunch of shorts with their friends, and that's about all that's on there.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So if you want to see a bunch of young girls do a bunch of TikTok dances, then my channel is definitely for you.
I got 3 girls at home, little ones.
Girl dads.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I have 5 daughters, and my youngest is a boy. So I got 5 daughters and 1 son.
Wow.
Woo. Lots of she keepers in the making there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get above 10 beehives, then you're gonna be busy.
So no McDonald's
Joey.
tonight.
Yeah. I'll probably keep it at 10. No, I got off early tonight.
That's good.
Yeah.
So Ryan, are you
Yeah.
parked at the?
My bees are doing well. My bees are doing good. They're right now. I'm keeping an eye on them, and it's been so cold I can't really peek into them. But I'm making sure they have fondant, and waiting for the weather to get at least above 40 so I can check them out, swap out the fondant if I need to.
Yeah, well, let's see, what was it? Monday finally got up to about 45 to maybe 47. And I went ahead and took the opportunity and, put additional feed on, which they needed it between the feed and the pollen patties and all. It seemed like if you can, I don't know, if push comes to shove, if it's 38 or 40, you can kind of get in there if you really have to, but I'd rather not. So
Yeah.
Ryan, so what's his name was saying that you need to insulate the top of your single brood chamber.
Well, he said they would eat less.
Well, they probably would.
Yeah. Heat
Yeah.
don't.
Mm-hmm.
But see,
This year is my first year of putting in insulation on the top of the hives, and it's the first year of doing a condensing hive of no upper ventilation, no upper entrance. Haven't had any moisture problems with the insulation on. And I think that well, I mean, I've seen like Tardif up there in the Yukon and all his experiments
Yeah,
and
that's
things,
extreme.
streams and stuff like that. I mean, I think that they do better.
Yeah, I don't run telescoping covers, so I mean, I guess that'd be. I just make all my own lids out of plywood.
You're doing migratory, right?
Yeah, it's kinda it, but I guess that insulation, I would just have to use straps or like a brick, like I normally do.
Well, you can put the insulation on there, and if you got some kind of, I don't know,
It sits flush. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, migratory is sitting flush, but you could insulate the top of the migratory, and you could put another piece of wood on top of that to keep the water off of it.
Yeah.
And that kind of a thing. I don't know. I was sitting there hemming and hawing about whether to make a frame and put the insulation inside the frame. Some people, and they kind of like put an insulation, you might say sort of like an insulation shim on. And of course, you don't do telly, you use a migratory on top of that. It's kind of hard to, I don't know any other way of doing it.
The other thing I was thinking too, if the 2-inch, I know George, but you put that 2-inch insulation on, you're going to have to take that off and store it because it's just going to harbor ants. So
Yep.
You have to think about your management style. Is that something you want to spend time doing?
Right.
Or space doing? Like, do you have the space to do that?
Well, yeah, I got the space, but I just look at it like I haven't used it since 2011 when I started beekeeping. So, it's kind of, I don't know. Every
when
beekeeper
does you use that bubble
double bubble.
Yeah, I only use that in the winter time. And then I that comes off, in the summer.
Why wouldn't you keep that on?
I don't run an inner cover or any. I just my lids have like a little like shim built in it. I don't run anything like that. I let the bees just crawl over time. Just less equipment.
I leave, but I use it too, but I leave it on all year round.
Yeah, because I would just have to move it. My supers will go on, in 6 to 8 weeks or whatever. And I guess I would just move that to the top of the super. I take them off when I put the supers on, and then they don't go back on to the fall.
Just staple it right to your inner cover, right into your migratory cover. Staple it right on.
Yeah, that's smart.
And that way it's there. You never have to worry about putting it in, putting it out. And
that's
maybe
a good
every
idea.
4 or 5 years you'll have to replace it, but still, I mean that's going to serve in the winter, in the summer too.
That's a real good idea because those things blow all over the place.
Yeah, you don't need that. You don't want that. You want to put them in and forget about them all year round. So I don't know.
Hey, Bill, funny story. You were telling Nancy to send the bees to Beltsville. Well, last night I got a phone call at work, and the USDA, they have like a agricultural center in Beltsville, and they lost power there. So I had to go patrol that feeder to the buildings. And I was walking through a right-of-way in the woods, came across about 200 hives.
Yep, that's Beltsville.
And it was locked down, like security signs everywhere. I thought I was on camera. It took everything in me not to pop some lids.
Yep.
They were all singles.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with them because you don't know what you're going to get when you go in there. It looked
like a science project. They had a ton of hives in the middle of the woods.
It is.
Yeah.
It's nothing but a science project up there because they do all kinds of testing and everything else.
Yeah, every hive had like cow tags on them, and then behind the hive was a laminated sheet with all kinds of information on it.
Yep, exactly. Because they do.
I thought it was pretty cool.
They do testing. They do testing of pesticides and everything else that affects the bees. They do everything up there.
Yep. Well, I found you would, and you can't see it on Google Images because it was in the middle of the woods on a right of way, so the treetops cover it up. And yeah, I was walking right through them. I was like, "Good man, I can't believe I found these."
Yeah, you don't want to tell them you've been in there either.
Well, the guy had to get me access in there because we have a right of way on our power line, so he was the one taking me around.
So who was it that let you in there? Or do you never remember?
One of the trucks that say USDA. It was just a guy that got called, like a maintenance guy.
Oh, okay. One of our maintenance guys.
Yeah.
Somebody that has keys.
Exactly.
Yeah, got the keys
to a bunch of gates.
I got to interrupt. You said right away on your power line. What do you do?
I'm a lineman.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I knew you were. Yep.
Sweet. Where are you? You're out of where? South Dakota or Minnesota? What is your
No, Maryland. Say? I work in DC. We the White House and Capitol, everything. We have underground and overhead, but I'm on the overhead side. I don't go in manholes. I'm all overhead power lines.
Yeah,
I don't blame you.
Overhead's way better than underground.
Yeah, if I'm gonna have something blow up on me, I want it to go in the air, not in the hole.
Not be confined. Sweet, that's awesome.
Yeah, double bubble. I see Philip in the double bubble, but Reflectex I think would be the proper term because double bubble is a packaging material. So technically, I guess that's not insulation, but Reflectex is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
When we talk about insulation.
Double bubble's a bubble gum.
Yeah, well, or wrapping, yeah, but the Reflectex, and it does have an R value of 1.
While I was driving into work, I heard Charlie talk about how Apivar, I guess he's not going to use it anymore, but I mean, I drop my Apivar strips in around February 15th every year. That's just part of my pest management system. Just to kind of control them up until the spring. But yeah, I've never really done any mite washes though before or after. I've just always used Apivar. Early spring.
You're one of the lucky ones that it still works for.
But that's the thing. I don't know if it works.
So are you doing a mite wash before you put it in and once you get it out?
Nope. I've just, my bees have always looked healthy in the spring and, going into, I use Apigard once I take the supers off and I'll feed them sugar water during the dearth and use Apigard.
Yep.
But I also don't follow the instructions on the Apigard. I do it 25 gram doses and I do it in the evening where it's like 85, like the next 2 days will be like 85. So that first 12 hours, it's not as hot.
Well, that's following the directions because the directions changed 2 years ago on Apigard.
Now I thought it was 50. It's not 50 grams?
Not anymore. Anything above 77 degrees is 25.
Okay.
So you're following the direction.
And now I do my mite washes before and after on that, and that product works.
Yeah, it does. Oh yeah, it works. It works very well.
Listening to Charlie talk about the Apivar, I'm wondering if I'm wasting $350 every February.
That's what I came up with this year.
But
I had the inspector come in the house there. I mean, I signed up for the National Honeybee Survey. I signed up for it 3 years ago. She came after Formic or Apivar and Formic Pro, and I was at a 0.2 mites per 300. And this year it was a 3.6 per 100. So that tells, it's almost 11 mites per 300 bees. And that was only after Apivar. So right there, that tells me the Apivar doesn't do anything. You're just wasting your money.
Yep.
Well, I really want to have a spring treatment though. So, and I already bought the Apivar.
Go ahead and use it. I mean,
yeah, use it.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna use it. I keep it in the house actually, just for temperature reasons. But
well, that's what I do. I mean, people talk about the things don't work or whatever. I said, you don't keep it in your gardening shed or your
No.
No.
your car garage that's not heated. I have a room in the house where I keep my bottles and caps and mite treatments and all that stuff, where it's in a heated and cooled environment. Well, mostly cooled environment.
Yeah.
You know,
So
it's not good.
we all know we do the OA, you know, when they're broodless in the winter. Everybody, for the most part, does that. And then summer treatment, I just finally, you know, I've been using ApiGuard. But you guys, I mean, what should I guess I would have to test first to see if it's even working, the Apivar. If not, I got to figure out another treatment for the spring then.
Formic Pro.
Yeah, and that's like Charlie with ApiGuard. I've never used Formic Pro. And if I can't, I don't want to lose queens before that nectar.
You won't lose queens.
I mean, the thing,
Pro.
if you're, you know, if you have a window of 4 to 5 days, and I've always said on my videos, 80, you know, it says no higher than 85. I say 80 degrees or less and low humidity.
Yeah.
To me, humidity is, it doesn't say it on the label. I've asked Nod guy and everything like that. Oh, it doesn't matter. Well, I think it does. I think humidity intensifies the gas,
Yep.
the vapors coming off of that. It makes it, you know, it's like in medication, they put alcohol in medication to intensify the effect. And it's the same way with humidity. It intensifies the effect of the gassing. And
so if you put the ApiGuard, put Formic Pro on in the spring and follow the label directions, it will slow the queen down.
That was my question, because
it's designed to slow her down.
But do we want that though before spring
for 3 days? For 3 days.
Okay.
The first 3 days are the most important. It will slow her down for 3 days. So if you put it on in the first 3 days, low humidity, like Charlie's saying, because humidity does play a part, but you'll come out on the other end. Okay.
You know, they talk about what they call it, winter bees, you know, and I put it on in September, and I don't see a problem with it at all.
Now, I'll say this. DC has a good point. You won't lose healthy queens. If you have a subpar queen or a sick queen, yeah, it may kill it.
What about a week? So I run not a lot, but I do run 5-frame nukes through the winter, just 5 frames of bees.
Yeah, you don't want to do it on nuke.
No.
See, that's
you don't
the thing.
want to put it on nuke.
So, okay.
Now, let me put it to you this way. Do you do 5/5 nuke?
I do 5/5, but I do have a couple just 5 framers out there.
No, don't do it on 5 framers. I do 5/5. I will put one. I'll put one pad on, not the two pads for 10 framers.
Right.
Be 5/5, and you're putting it above the brood frames. I take the satchel out, which has got 2 pads in it, and I put 1 pad on each nuke.
Yeah.
And in between or on top? In between or on top?
In between.
Depends on where the brood's at.
If the brood's on the bottom and you've got another box on top, it goes in between. If you've got 2 boxes of brood, you just put it up on top.
So you just want it near the brood.
One pad.
One pad on top.
I mean, I know it doesn't say it on the label for it, but I've used it a couple of years that way, and it works just fine.
Yeah.
And have you built? So that's what you use, Bill, in the spring.
We put Formic Pro goes on either last week of March, first week of April, and we pull it off in 2 weeks, and then I get my inspections.
And then you're putting on your supers.
I have supers on while it's on there.
Oh, so you can use that. I'm not familiar with that product.
Yeah, because formic acid occurs naturally in the honey. So that's why it's allowed to be used.
You can put it on while
supers.
the honey supers are on. It's legal.
Yeah, it's allowed to be used with honey supers.
Okay, yeah, that's why the Apivar strips I would have to put on in February because those would be out.
Yes, exactly.
And is the cost relatively similar to the Apivar?
Depends on where you buy it. Every dealer that sells Formic Pro sells it at different price points.
Okay.
So do your research,
yeah.
shop around.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure the guys down south don't pay the same prices. It has to do with your market, just like honey, you
Right.
know,
But you got to
or
also
liquor,
remember
beer.
Formic Pro comes out of Canada.
It's all
So
the same. It depends on your zip code,
but
basically.
if like me, I'm going to be able to get it cheaper and sell it cheaper than somebody in Georgia because it costs more to ship it to Georgia. So they got to add their shipping on. Whereas I add some shipping on it, but I'm not selling it as much as the Dant and Man Lake sell it for. So you
Hey,
got
did
to look at
anybody
the
check
shipping
those
side of it.
prices?
Huh?
Did anybody check the prices for Formic in the last week? Because the rumor was, or they put out, they were going to raise the price on February 1st.
Well, Bill got a letter on that deal.
There's
what
no
happened?
tariff coming out of Canada.
Yeah, but did they still raise their price?
Not yet.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Did they still raise?
The tariff has been put on hold for 30 days until they decide for sure what they're going to do. Now, if they put a tariff on it, it's an ag product, so I don't know what they're going to do. And I haven't. I got a letter back in November of last year that March 1st, NOD products were going to go up in price due to the tariff. Now, if they don't get a tariff, then they may not go up. I don't know. I haven't heard any more from them.
We got to keep an eye on that. We got to keep an eye on them because if they were going to raise the price because there was a tariff and there's no tariff, they better not raise the price and think we're not paying attention. I'll
email Dana tomorrow and find out what.
See, I got my finger out for that one. Did you see me?
Yep, I know.
So Bill, I'm looking at this Formic Pro. In a box it says 30 doses. Is that'll treat 15 hives?
No, that'll treat 30 hives.
30 hives, 2 strips.
Yeah,
Ryan, every little satchel in there, one satchel was for one hive. Let's say a 10 frame production hive. Yeah. Inside the little silver satchel, which you tear open, has 2 pads, and that's the ones where you put them across the frames. Look, you see me? Like this way. You put them across the frames, across the brood.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that price it's almost exactly the same as Apivar, but
who are you looking at?
The Formic Pro.
Can you see the private chat?
No, I can't.
All right. I was going to say, if you can see private chat, I'd give you a website to go to look at it.
I always buy the 30 pack. I mean, how many hives you got, Ryan?
I have 42, but I'm planning on having 60 going into next winter.
When you go in next winter, it depends on what you come out with next spring. If you got 60 hives, then you need a 30 pack.
You'll need 2 of them.
Yeah, you need 2 of them. So hang on a minute. Don't go anywhere. Not yet.
Charlie, you have a video out on this, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is the stuff that Bruce's bees did, and he ripped the paper off, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not
supposed to rip the paper off.
I'm looking at it.
There's a white tissue paper around it. Leave it on.
Yeah, that's right. Bruce ripped the paper off.
Yeah, that pad is made out of wood fiber, and it's soaked in the formic acid.
And that helps
off like a pollen patty. I never saw that video
with the slow release.
It helps it, yeah, reduce the release of it.
His flash must have been real nice.
All right.
Well, that's where there was a pamphlet at Nod. I should have got it at Nobby. And they should have said something to me.
Look in your comments, Ryan.
Comments
Look
on
in
what?
the comment. Look in the comments.
See it?
No, I'm
It's for
young,
me.
Bill, but I'm not very technical savvy.
Bees all day.
Oh, I see it. Oh,
Look
is
in
that
the
your
chat.
price?
Yes.
Oh, that's cheaper
Hey,
than anything. I'm
Charlie,
looking
put that
at.
in a ticker down the bottom. Put Bill's
Bill, that's
.com
cheaper
in the
than all this I'm looking at online right now.
Yeah.
I wonder how far you are from me.
Woodstock, Virginia.
We're
How
about,
far are you from Charlie?
probably an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Well, if you're near DC, you're about an hour and 15 minutes from me.
Yeah, but I'm more down by the Harry Nice Bridge.
That's Fredericksburg.
Yeah, that's Richmond, Fredericksburg. Yep, that's about 45 minutes from me.
Yeah, you are hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes from me.
All right, I'm gonna get with you for some equipment and everything in the future.
Yeah.
You carry Premier frames?
Nope. Acorn.
Okay. Triple waxed?
I can get the triple. Typically, I carry double.
I've got both. There's not a whole lot of difference.
No, not really.
Well, now, Charlie, you got me thinking if I should do a mite wash before I put those Apivar strips in.
Kind of hard to do one in the middle of the winter.
That's why I've never done it.
Yep. You can do one when you come out, though. And that gives you an idea what you got going into the summer.
Yeah.
But typically, when we do the OA regimen that we do during the winter, and then
There you go, Charlie.
we do the Form
Yeah.
Pro in
Keep
the
it up.
spring, when I get my state inspection, it's either a 0 or a 1 on the mite count for the entire apiary.
Okay. Hey, Bill, is there that who is the dealer up in Mount Airy, Maryland? Is he still there?
He's a Dedant dealer. Yes, he's still there. What is his name?
I've talked to him before and went up there a couple years ago. He has that fenced in nuke.
Yeah, he's got a big farm up there.
Yeah. It's like it's a little smaller shop.
You see that, Ryan? That's Bill's website.
That's my website.
Oh yeah. I went to that the other night when Nancy had it on her live.
Yeah.
Checked it out.
I was looking for a ticker. I'm like,
It's there, Charlie. You can create.
It's there.
It's there. Keep looking. It says
It's called
ticker.
a banner.
Nancy's
Yeah, banner.
Nancy.
I got banner, but I wanted to go across.
Yeah, it'll do it.
Just keep clicking buttons. You're in the right area.
You're in the right spot. Just keep clicking
I can't
buttons. It'll
see it.
move.
Yeah, I can't see what you're doing now because I'm not there. But keep clicking around in that area. You'll find it. Yeah. So Darren in Pennsylvania here, he's out Harrisburg way. Pennsylvania, I mean, it's a big state. But Darren, yes, we put pollen. There you go.
There you go. You got it.
I put pollen on and Charlie put pollen. Now we're 2.5 hours apart, but we put pollen on last weekend. And I won't keep it on. I'll put it on now, and then I'm gonna add more Hive Alive fondant and then pollen again. But I won't keep adding pollen straight through. You know, I just because I put it on now doesn't mean I'll keep it on.
Yeah, I
But
didn't.
yeah,
No, I was saying I didn't add my global patties yet, but I did. I just put on a bunch of the AP23. That's got like 3% protein, I
Yeah.
think it was.
Yeah, it's not much.
I was scared because some of those singles were huge clusters and just really, really light. I'm not even sure if they're gonna. And then we got 2 weeks of cold weather coming.
yeah.
We'll
That's
see.
Mine are the same way. They just would not put weight on last fall, no matter how many opportunities I put the buffet out, and they just would not hold it. They just would consume it.
It's
Remember
almost
I
like
told
I've been,
you. Remember I told you Wednesday night, Nancy. I put it out Monday.
Yeah.
Put pollen sub out Monday. I checked it today. It's gone. The feeder's empty.
Oh, you're talking about dry pollen sub outside the
It's
hive.
empty.
Yeah.
It's gone.
And
So
did the critter get after it?
No. The feeder's still hanging right there where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's too early. I put pollen patty on the hive, but I don't do powder anymore. Just because I just don't need to do it.
I mixed some apis in with it, some dry apis in with it.
Some people just use it as a tool. You know, they'll just put a little bit out just to kind of gauge what's going on in the hive without going in. And that's nice to do. I mean, that's a good information tool.
Yeah.
For different yards, see where you're at in one yard compared to another yard compared to another yard.
Yeah, I put it out. I took the bucket out there Monday and hung the feeder and cracked the bucket, and I got attacked. They were all over it. So that tells me I've got brood in the hive. So.
Oh yeah, I'll have brood. I have brood by Valentine's Day. I mean, the heat in the air is coming. It's like a hairdryer. Usually on Valentine's Day for me up here. So, and that's why I put pollen on mine now. But I did 15%. I'll save the 4% for fall.
So Ryan, that AP20, I know it's a sugar patty with some pollen in it.
Yeah.
I mean, have you checked it? I mean, I guess you just put them on recently though.
Yeah, on that last warm day. It was literally 3 days after I shot that video. I ordered it right when I got home.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know if I'm going to I think I'm going to start making sugar bricks rather than dry sugar. But anyways, yeah, I haven't checked them. It's too cold to see what they've done. But over at my resource yard, those are all doubles. They had plenty of weight. It was my production yards that were single deeps that I wish they were actually smaller clusters. I don't know what they're just eating too much.
Well, that's what I found with mine. I had double deeps and they were completely full of sugar water in this fall, and they have just blown through it.
Yeah.
Wood Camp Farms.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Mount Airy, Wood Camp Farms.
Yep.
What's up there? Who's selling?
Hey, Bill.
That's where we get our T55 syrup from. Is Wood Camp, Mike Wood Camp.
Well, how much is that, Bill? When you sell that? If I brought you a 250, oh no, I don't need that much, but say like a per gallon. Do you sell it by the gallon?
I sell it by the 5-gallon bucket when I sell it.
Oh, so you wouldn't be able to load me up in a tote?
Oh yeah, I can get you a tote. That's not a problem. You bring me an empty tote and I'll go get it. If we get it this year, yeah. I'll know here soon whether we're going to get it or not. So we either get it in the spring or we get it in the late summer. And a 250-gallon tote weighs about 4,200 pounds.
Right.
What do you got to haul with, Ryan?
Well, I got a diesel truck, but I just have a and I got trailers and all, but I just do I got a 150 or 200 gallon barrel mixer that I made that's with a hose and everything, a garden hose and a pump.
Yep.
But I'm mixing my own. The barrel I made, I mixed my own hot water with sugar. Just kind of annoying doing that during the dirt and fall.
I was going to say, don't show up in a little Honda Civic or a Chevette and expect to take that tote home.
No, but I've been looking for a tote. Now, would that stuff be okay sitting in that tote for?
As long as you don't cut it with water, yes.
Okay, it won't. Okay, so it's not like sugar where it'll start smelling.
It will not ferment unless you cut it with water, and then it cuts the shelf life in half.
Okay.
What we do, Matt? Move down into the basement, or what?
Yeah, I got really bad. Yeah, I'm in my basement. I got a really bad signal out in my shop. I kept cutting in and out, so I moved down here.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
have you?
Can you turn your volume
Hey, Bill,
down
I
a
was
little
going to
bit,
ask
Matt?
you. What's that?
Can you turn your volume down a little bit?
Oh, sorry. I'm
No,
not
it's
sure how to
okay.
do that, but I could talk quieter.
It's okay. You never know when you're coming on. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, Bill, I was going to ask you, do you sell cappings wax?
No, we don't.
Okay.
I don't know where. I guess who does sell that? What are you trying to do with make some candles or something, Matt?
No, I got about 150 frames. I got a wax
Mm-hmm.
because I got Pureco foundation, and I think it only has a single coat of wax on it, and it looks pretty dry. So I want to put a fresh coat of wax on them.
I know Bob Benny does.
Yeah.
Down in
Now,
Detroit.
later in the summer, I'll have 1 pound bars of wax.
So what you can also do, Matt, is buy the wax sheets and melt those down. Maybe
Yeah.
those are fairly cheap
Yeah.
too.
What is it, Ryan?
The wax.
Yeah, like wax
Yeah.
found.
They're all wax,
Like wax foundation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're not super expensive, I don't think.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that. I have about 3 pounds of it, 3 pounds of wax right now, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
Yeah, the main thing when you're rolling that on them frames to find a real like a foam roller that doesn't suck up a whole lot of it. So
Yeah.
That's what I use. Is go out and get yourself a disposable foam roller. It's about 4 inches. And are you doing mediums or deeps?
Both.
Yeah, about a 4-inch roller, and melt it.
Yeah, I've done it before. Yeah, I've done it before. I got the roller.
Okay.
And it's important too to
Yeah.
you want to make sure that where the top bar is, you want the top section, look, you want that more wax on there than necessarily the bottom.
Yeah.
When you're doing it, it's more important than the bottom.
Why is that?
That's what I've just always been told that, and that's how I've done it. And they'll always draw it from kind of like the center top down instead of the bottom up.
When you put that frame in the hive, if all your wax, like if you're holding up a piece of foundation and you see all the waxes at the bottom, flip it over so the wax is at the top. Because when that foundation gets hot, that wax will run down the frame. You can't see it physically do it, but it does run down the frame to the bottom.
Yeah, DC saying I do it like I used to do all that, but I just take a chunk of it like a softball size,
Yeah,
and I
and rub
just
it.
it's warm. I leave that sit in the sun,
Yep.
and then I just coat in place like as I need them. I coat and you
Yep.
press harder on it, get a thicker. But yeah, it's a lot less messy to do it that way. And you can do 5 or 6 of them pretty quick.
Yep.
You know, and if you're in a hive, you can do it without all the mess of a crock pot and a. I just hate messing with wax. I hate it.
Also, Matt,
So
if your frames aren't built yet, as far as the inserts in the frames, I recommend waxing the inserts before you snap them into the frame.
it doesn't. You can
Okay.
do it both ways. I
It's
think you
just
can.
a little bit, so
Yeah.
you don't get so much on
Yeah.
the wood wasted.
Yeah, the frames are already assembled, so
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
they're
not a
already in
problem.
there.
That won't be a problem.
You can run it up along that top bar, up underneath
Yeah.
there. If you get a little
Yep.
corner in your wax in your hand, you can run it pretty thick up there, like Ryan was
Yeah.
saying.
I saw a YouTuber had a pot and he was just dipping his frames into a pot of wax. I was like,
That's
good
Joey.
Lord. Who was that?
That's Joey.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Joey.
I was like, those things are real waxed.
Yeah, they are.
That bees will take
More
right
than
through
enough
that.
wax there.
I had mentee did that, but he got the wax a little too hot and just went, all
Yeah.
plastic. I said, no, you just need it to be melted. That's it,
Yeah.
Have any of you all ever made
Yeah.
chapstick out of the wax, beeswax?
I'm
Do you have,
actually going
Nancy?
to have a class in that in August for lip balm and lotion bars.
Oh yeah. My wife will probably be attending that.
Yeah.
Hour and a half drive.
Yep.
I don't do it. The lady that does my friend has goats and she does goat soap and she does the salves and the lip balms. So I just give her the wax and then she advertises on I give her the honey and the wax and she advertises for me on her products. People
Okay.
like the fact that it's all like we live in the same town. So people, get super focused on that local
Yep.
jargon, which is
Yep.
cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I saw on uline.com they had the chapstick tubes.
Yep.
All that stuff is fairly inexpensive to get into.
Hmm
It
It's
is.
labor. It's labor.
Yeah.
And the labels is going to be, because I do all my own labels
Yeah.
on the printer and with Canva and all. That's going to be the difficult part is getting that logo on that label and then having to go through and wrap every single chapstick bar.
It's labor intensive.
Yeah,
We can get
Philip.
$3 for them over here. So
$3
I don't
a
know.
tube?
We get
Yeah.
$3 a tube. I've seen them as high as $3.50, but that's getting a little too high. I think 3 is too high, but they'll pay it. I mean, they do pay it.
Wow.
If it's
I was thinking like $1.
No, that if you get it for $1, that's the ones that are just remelted. Like they buy it in a tub and then they just
Yeah. They
put
just
it in
pack
the
it in the
tubes.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
I give
any-
that stuff away down at Nobby. And it goes like crazy.
Yeah, I don't have a wife, so I can't do chapsticks, lotions, and soaps. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Come on, guys, lighten up.
We weren't going to say anything, Nancy.
I got a husband that isn't into any of that kind of stuff.
Hey, Bracken, do you chase storms or are you on a line crew?
What was that?
Do you chase storm work or are you on a line crew?
No, I'm on a crew. I work for a city.
Okay.
Yep, we just cover yeah, we got a little bit of transmission and distribution. It's not a huge area, but it's decent.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you a storm chaser?
I worked.
Oh no, you're up there in.
Yeah, we go on storms, but I work for a power company, so we
Gotcha.
we generate power, and I mean I work for Exelon.
Who?
Exelon.
Oh,
Yeah, I work for Pepco, but we're bought out by Exelon.
I was gonna say you work for Pepco.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty sweet job.
Yeah,
There you
I worked
go.
for
There you go,
a
Ryan,
tree
there's-
cutting business.
So you can climb then, Matt.
I worked for a tree cutting business, and I cleared lines before, but
Did
that
you,
was a while ago. I don't do that anymore.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
Brian, I was gonna say you work for Dominion Energy. Your price just doubled.
Oh no, I don't work for Dominion.
there you go, Ryan. 150 chapsticks takes about an hour. See, Carl sells them for $3 each, or 2 for $5.
Yeah, there you go.
Woo! Philip's
that's
gonna
up.
get $4 to $5.
That's an eight.
$5.50 Blue Ridge. Yeah, that's too for my market wouldn't handle that.
That's 1/8 of our strip per 3 chapsticks.
Because there's people that just remeld it and they sell theirs for $1, and the consumer isn't that educated. You know,
No.
they see $1, $3. You're not going to spend all that time talking for $3. I'll spend the time talking to sell my honey, but not a chapstick.
Yeah.
And you don't want to put beeswax in your hair or your beard. Just to
Philip, is that $4 for one?
yeah.
That's right. He's out there in Texas where all that money, that oil money is.
Yeah, he's outside of Dallas,
Yep.
so he's in a different market. He's in the
He's in
Ching
the rich
market.
man's market.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
High rental.
I actually got some of. I have some of Philip's chapstick. I won his gift basket for the raffle for Hives for Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It is good. His chapstick's good stuff. My kids like it,
That's cool.
nice.
and
Yeah.
his daughter also makes earrings too.
Yeah, they look really
Mike.
nice.
You see Mike polishes his head with it. We need a video on that.
Yeah, the thing is.
Uh-oh.
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 Yeah, so
The
I'm
power's
on
out.
Blue Ridge Honey Company's website, and their lip balm is $4.75 a pop. Their soap bars are $8.95, and their lotion bars are $9.50.
Yeah, that's a tour. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on a tourist strip there, I think. And I don't know that. I mean, I love Bob like everybody else, but I think he might be in a tourist market right there, which is
I don't know. He's in
yeah.
he's in Lakemont, Georgia.
Yeah, but he's on a strip, like a tourist, like, it's a different. I'm at a farmer's market,
Yeah.
they don't want to put that much money into. I mean, I do.
He sells royal jelly, propolis, pollen. He's got a propolis and herb throat spray. He's got it going on big time.
So what, Nate, you say you don't put beeswax in your mustache, in your honey?
No, not your hair, not your beard, because the melt point, the high temp that you need to get that out is going to hurt you. Like you don't want to put beeswax on any, part of your hair or your face or your beard or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I thought they always did mustache wax. Is that something different?
I don't think it's beeswax. It might be soy or something that's not as
It
high
might
temp.
it not be now, but I'm pretty sure at one time it had beeswax in it.
I guess those guys would. Well, yeah, I don't know. I am not gonna pretend I know, but
Yeah, I wouldn't know either. I don't put anything in my beard. It's mostly a rat's nest.
tropolalaps. Someone was saying in a other chat that they were finding tropolalaps on rats. Don't quote me on that because it was hearsay, but that would be interesting if that's true.
When you search the ingredients for mustache wax, it comes up. Common ingredients include beeswax for a base, coconut oil, shea butter, lanolin, and petroleum jelly, gum arabic or pine resin, scented oils, and tallow.
I know.
I'm gonna jump off, guys. Good
All right,
listening.
Bracken. Good to see you.
Good talk.
See you. Good night.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
night, Bracken.
Thanks for entertaining me.
Yeah.
We'll see you.
See ya.
See ya.
What's her name? Is she? All right. So
Yeah, novelty stew. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I was calling it a what was I calling it? Not a novelty, but
It's
you're on
almost
vacation or you're.
Yeah, it's almost a throwaway item. So
Ryan got a call.
yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh, he's got to go to work. Oh.
Yeah, got to go do something.
Yeah, I did sell my wax for a while, and then I just give it away to people like an ounce or two. They want a whole pound, I'll send them to somebody else, but
Yeah,
I didn't want to mess with it.
we do pound bars typically starting in May, and I deal in bulk wax sometimes. Somebody has a lot of wax they want to get rid of. I'll barter with it, and then I call my broker and say, "Hey, how much is bulk wax today?" And he'll give me a price, and I'll say, "Nope, not high enough." And I'll call him back in a few days, and he'll give me a price again. And it's like the gold market; it goes up and down. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
my biggest consumer of wax are the wood guys, like guys that make spoons and cutting boards, charcuterie boards, and that sort of thing.
Yep.
Those guys will buy pounds, and I do sell to them. But the little hobbyist that comes through wants like an ounce or two, I just say it's free when you buy honey.
Yeah. And
my uncappings, I melt down. I put my uncappings in my solar wax melter. After the bees dry it out, clean it up for me, I'll put that in the solar wax melter, and then.
Yeah,
that's what I do. I solar wax melt it, and then I re-wax it, remelt it in my pot, my electric pot.
Yep.
And filter it, and I put it in bread pans because I am not paying $35 for a 1 pound form.
Yeah.
And I had one gal, she was using it for horses, and it's $10 a pound.
Yeah, I've got 3 breweries close to me, and they come get wax from me to seal barrels.
So Philip's going to be buying a
filter?
lot of honey off of me. Looks like, because you get a free ounce with every pound you buy. So bring your trailer up, Philip.
So Charlie, how do you filter your wax once you melt it down? What do you pour it through?
I had some cheesecloths for a while, but that's expensive.
Yeah.
And then actually I got on Amazon and I bought, and before I guess before bottling tank or something. I don't know. I bought these 5-gallon bucket strainer bags that that you can get that go in, that you can pour your honey through and it'll strain it. And I
Hmm.
take one of them bags and cut it up and then maybe lap it over. And then I take a iced tea, I guess a strainer, like a kitchen strainer with a metal basket in it, that's mother used to pour iced tea through it to get the seeds or whatever out of it. And it's just, I don't know, it's what,
Cheesecloth.
huh?
Cheese. It's called
Yeah, but
cheesecloth.
the strainer is steel and it's 3 or 4 inches across. And
Yeah.
I use that as a lining. I put the strainer bag, it's a paint strainer bag is what it is. And I cut them up and I'll line it in there like that. And I'll let it go through that and it'll catch pretty much all. I still get some speckles in it. It isn't, I'll say, what would you call it? Food grade or whatever, like
Right.
like Flower Street wants something that's perfectly clear for wax candles. And, mine doesn't quite match that, but for what I've been, selling it to people for, it's fine. And I've used some of it here lately. I had some of these drone frames that they come through the factory. They're not waxed heavy enough, and I re-waxed them all.
Yeah,
And
we use a paper towel like Peter does in our wax melter. And then when I run it out of the wax pot, I run it through a coffee filter.
Yeah, well, I do too. I do that too.
Yeah.
Get yourself the cheapest paper towel you can get.
Yep.
I
And
use a cotton t-shirt or cotton rags. You can buy rags out of cotton. I use
Yep.
that instead of paper. And it comes out one time comes out beautiful. But I mean, as beautiful as I
when
need
it
it.
comes to solar wax melter, either paper or I'll have to try that like a cotton t-shirt.
Yeah,
method.
t-shirt, old
That
t-shirt.
really filters 99% of the tart crash out.
Yeah.
Really does a great
Yeah.
job. And all that.
Yeah, I've tried the cheesecloth. I tried that and that worked really well. But like you said, they're kind of pricey.
Yeah, for what it is,
Yeah.
And
Use an old cotton t-shirt. Old cotton
Yeah.
t-shirt.
now
I'll
you
try
got
that next time.
Are you using a solar wax melter too, Matt?
No,
Hey, Charlie,
I'll just
go ahead.
heat it
I'm
up
sorry.
with I got a big pot, like I don't know, 15-gallon pot, and I'll just put water in it and then I'll put all my wax cappings and other things and I'll just melt it down with water.
Get yourself a solar
And then
wax. That's the way to go. It's easy.
yeah.
Yeah, you can build one out of an old cooler. Old
Tell you what
coolers.
Okay.
Hey, Charlie, put my website back up because somebody asked me what my website was and I can't post it.
Flour sack. Where are you buying flour in a cotton sack?
Some local mill, I guess.
That's an awful lot of
Flour
flour.
sack.
Must be,
Matt, I'll
Towels.
tell you something.
must
flour
be a
sack.
baker.
I got a solar wax melter. When I first started, I said, what a crock, I always thought everything had to be electric. But that you get out there and it's 90 plus degrees, you throw that 4 or 5 pounds of cappings in there,
Yep.
and shooting 7 or 8, they don't take, depends on how hot it is. If it's really hot, half a day and it's gone. It's melted through your little paper towel or your cotton cloth,
Mhm.
and then right into your it'll drip into a plastic tub that I got a little bit of water in there. Then then it comes out 99% clean. Then I put it in I got it from Man Lake, one of them electric skillet pots. It's got a spout on the side of it. And then I put it in there and remelt it. I used to put water in it, and that's a nuisance.
Yep.
Trying to separate it and all that. So you just put it in there and let it melt it. And then I filtered it again with either a paper towel or that paint cloth is what I've been using just to get rid of them, and all that stuff. But and then I put it in it's a 4x8 bread pan that's tapered, and it's got what's that coating on there? That
Teflon.
Teflon coating. You let it sit there overnight. It's totally hard. You turn it upside down and just give it a little quick tap, and the darn stuff falls right out of there. No problem at all. You don't have to have spray release and all this other stuff for your molds and stuff. And you can buy them pans. I happened to be up at the grocery store where I got them, and they were like 50% off. I got them for like a couple bucks a piece instead of like $5 a piece. And I got about 10 of them, and it works for me. And then what I did was I tear weighted one of them, and then I filled it, and I could see I got it to where it was 1 pound of wax in there. And then I measured from the top edge down with a ruler, and I put a little like a Sharpie mark on there, and I fill it up to that black line, and I'm within an ounce or so, a couple ounces maybe, and it works out fine. So
Yeah, we
Philip,
took a
you're
30
putting too much wax.
cooler, and
Phillips.
I made the frame so it's angled. I don't know, about a 35 degree angle, and took a metal pie plate or a metal turkey roasting pan, set down on the top of it, punched 3 holes in the bottom, put the paper towel there, put the cappings up in there, and set a container at the bottom with a little water in it, and it runs through those 3 holes and through the paper towel through the 3 holes, and we catch it, and there's a piece of glass sitting on top of it to intensify the sunlight coming in there and keep the heat in there. It works great. It's just amazing how fast it'll melt the wax.
Yeah, Philip, if I've done that where I try to cram too much in, but just run it with less in, and then that'll drip down. But Charlie, a couple years ago, if you use queen excluders, you can put them in your wax melter and it'll clean them right up.
I'll tell you, I did a video and I credited Nancy on that.
Yeah, that's
on the video. And you talk about a labor save. My machine, my wax melter was built by somebody else, and it was in our bee club, and it was just big enough for a 10 frame queen excluder. And you talk about a labor saver, because I used to go out there and you get yourself one of them heavy duty paint strippers and sit there for, and you're waiting 10 minutes on top of propolis, and finally the wax would melt off, and then the propolis would finally fall to the ground, and then you might want to scrape it with a brush or something. And I put them 10 framers in that solar wax melter, and if it's about 95 degrees, and really super hot and bright and sunny, you put that thing in at 8 o'clock in the morning, go back at lunchtime, make sure you got some leather gloves on, because you'll get burnt. And them things are done. And they might have a little bit of residue of some propolis. And I have one of those queen excluder scrapers, and I just sit there and scrape it off. And that thing looks like almost as clean as brand new.
Yep.
And you don't risk spreading them apart, so a queen could slip through. You eliminate the risk of ruining it.
Yeah,
if you put it in your solar wax melter.
Yeah,
I got mine from Better Bee. I mean, it costs a little bit, but it's well worth the couple years out. Mine's outside all summer long. I put it away for winter, but it's out on a bench with a little lift underneath it, and that thing runs 24/7 for me, and it's well worth the money I spent on it.
The main thing is, there's a lot of different honey or wax melters, but I'd be careful what you buy. You know, I mean, mine's a homemade job or by a guy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not. It doesn't take that much to it. It's make a box, and then you get some plexiglass window on the top, and then you get some sheet metal that basically it's metal across and up the sides, and then it kind of comes in on an angle like a funnel, and then you have an area maybe, I don't know what, 4 to 6 inches wide, and then you bend a piece of half-inch heartwork off as a support for either the cloth or the paper towel in there. And get it. I would make one for sure that would fit a 10 frame queen excluder.
Yeah.
And it really saves so much time.
Yeah,
because I mean, all I
that's
got to do is
definitely
pick them out, scrape them. I can put them back in the shed, and I'm done.
Yep.
that's definitely something I could probably make. Or I'll just keep an eye out on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. Keep an eye out for one.
Well,
Yeah, if
make
you can get your hands on one and look at a real one from like Better Bee or whatever, if you can look at it and see how it all puts together, then I would, make one. But I definitely take a look at one because they're kind of angled. They
yeah.
have a little.
See, mine's a box, and he made a leg that flipped underneath when it packs tight like a suitcase. And then when I'm ready to use it, I flip it down, the leg down, and there's a kind of an angle, and then it's a flat spot. And Matt's talking there.
Oh.
Yeah, if you're gonna make one,
Go.
make one big enough put whole frames in.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
Yeah.
make one.
Look at my video.
gotta-
I got a video on the wax melter. Look at mine, and it'll give you an idea. I've got some shots, I think, down. I actually went through showing how it folds up, and this guy had a good design on it. It could be a little bit wider for 10 frame. So
You might not want to put plastic foundation in it because it'll warp it. If you put it in for an hour or two, I mean, you keep an eye on it. I've done that, but you can't leave it in like you can a queen excluder for like
Right.
2 days or whatever. But
But
I
yeah,
don't really.
You're gonna melt all that wax off of it pretty quickly.
I think you better scrape it if it's on plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen people use
scraped
steam jennies on them, the plastic frames, and it's not good.
Well, it was like Matt's gone.
Yep.
Well, it's getting pretty late anyway.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my, it is. All right, I'm gonna go too.
All right. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead, everybody, and shut the chat down. It's been fun doing it tonight. And next week, I plan on doing it on Friday night. If everything goes well, I'll be remotely controlled from at Bill's house doing the show. I got to say how to get all my passwords and stuff. I know I got my laptop set up so I can get in and all that stuff. So, Bill, I don't know whether you got a internet
Wireless
connection for a wire. I can stick a wire in because my laptop's wireless connection doesn't work anymore. I forgot that. So, all right, guys, I'm going to shut the chat down. We'll see you next Friday night, and we'll see you on Bill's chat Monday night.
Yep.
At
8
8
o'clock.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Don't forget the like and subscribe button.
Yep. And also check out Nancy's new show on
Wednesday
Wednesday
night.
at what now, Nancy? 6:30 or 7?
6:30. 6:30. I like to get start a little earlier.
Yeah, so you can go see the Scream team, right?
No.
Yeah, they come on at 8.
They come
So-
on at 8, but now you have an alternative of a real bee chat at 6:30.
Exactly.
So
All
check out
right.
Nancy's thing. It's Nancy the Beekeeper is her channel name. Wednesdays
Yeah.
at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. And like and subscribe her channel, YouTube channel. And you'll get notifications on all that good stuff.
Yep.
We'll
Thanks,
see y'all
Charlie.
later.
See ya.
See ya.
Good night.